The social contract theory. This theory used morality as a set of rules to govern people's behavior. And according to philosopher Stuart Rachels, rational people accepted these rules only when others accepted them too. So when the rulers are immoral, then what about the ruled ones? Greetings everyone, this is Seher Rauf and today I'll be speaking on the topic postmortem of politics. Politics is associated with governance, and governance is successful only when it ensures rule of law, people's participation, and their empowerment. But today's politics of power struggle is not the supporter of good governance, rather, it leads to kleptocracy. So, now I'll be dwelling into the question as to why politics has lost its morality. First of all, political parties seem to have a dearth of leaders with ethics and values. But this is now how political parties used to be in the past. For instance, Atal Bihari Vajpayee once attacked Jawaharlal Nehru by saying that he had a dual personality combining Churchill and Chamberlain. And Nehru, instead of getting angry, just appreciated his persuasive speech. And on the other occasion, Vajpayee defended Nehru during a parliamentary debate. This was the healthy spirit which was present in our leaders who fought the anti-colonial struggle and those who drafted the longest living constitution of the world. But in today's world, one can easily witness a comedy show in the parliament itself, with the usual walkouts and the use of abusive and unparliamentary language by our leaders. Second reason, media trial. Media is the fourth pillar of democracy, and it has the tendency to capture the imagination of people by creating a spectacle. As a consequence, political class is forced to innovate new and fancy methods to grab media's attention, such that promotions and bribes are abundant, but real field work is rare. Third reason, in order to finance these propagandas and campaigns, money power gets to determine the chances of getting an election ticket as well as the chances of forming a government in order to get the ministerial berth. This indirectly leads to mental exploitation of those poor people who cannot afford to be a candidate. Seeing all these problems, it is the need of the hour to come up with some possible solutions in order to bring morality back in Indian politics. Since 1970s, criminals and capitalists started entering our political arena, and their influence grew stronger after 1990 when market forces started to have greater role in Indian politics. What we gained here were some technocrats, legal experts and financial managers in our government, but what we lost were social leaders like Ram Manohar Lohia, Chaudhry Charan Singh and others who emphasized on social politics, that is, connecting social movements and issues with the mainstream politics. So we need some more social leaders like them in our politics today. India can also learn from those countries where good governance is practiced with the help of healthy politics. First of all, New Zealand. It has been generally observed that with the rise of income inequality levels, there is a subsequent rise in corruption levels as well. But this was not the case in New Zealand because this country practices strong ethos of ethical probity which are reinforced by effective rules. Another great example is Switzerland, where social politics and public participation is ensured to the fullest, such that even non-party groups like feminists have a greater say in the government. And finally, Netherlands, a country with low corruption and high transparency levels. This is because the country was able to realize that connections between business and politics always lead to corruption. And that is why each business company and each public procurement have their own codes of conduct and mechanisms to detect and prevent bribery. So what today's politics needs is a perspective that it is not for the welfare of selfish and corrupt politicians, rather for the betterment of citizens. Thank you.